stuck. All right, hello, and welcome to another edition of Thursday Thoughts. My name is Megan Mitchell, and I'm here today representing Livable City, that awesome organization that brings you citywide open streets events such as Sunday Streets and Play Streets. Before I get started, I'd like to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Sonic. And for those of you joining us, feel free to enter your questions in the comments. And joining me today is Gina Mariko Rosales, the founder of Make It Mariko. Gina is an event enthusiast, efficiency nerd, and nonprofit advocate. She's the founder and owner of Make It Mariko Events, as well as a co-founder and event producer of the well-known Undiscovered SF Creative Night Market in Soma, Filipinas, which launched over 10,000 people and is going on their third year. Make It Mariko is an all-women of color Bay Area event planning company focused on creating magical, meaningful moments for the community. And prior to founding Make It Mariko, Gina spent 10 years doing corporate and social nonprofit event planning, administration, and operations, including 7 years of working for Google, while most recently the head of marketing for Google X. Gina was the former executive director of the award-winning nonprofit performing arts organization Funkonometry SF. And with all of that, let's get right to it. Thanks for joining us, Gina.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me on.
Definitely. And what an amazing background you have. You seem too young to have done all that stuff.
The Filipino Asianness in me, I'll look for young forever until
okay. I feel you on that. I love it. So tell me about, first of all, are you a native San Franciscan?
I was born and raised in Pacifica, but I went to high school in San Francisco. So I was always kind of between both cities, and then went to college at Berkeley. So I'm just like Bay Area.
Bay Area. I love it. I went to Burton. Which high school did you go to?
I went to Sacred Heart.
Oh, I love Sacred Heart.
I had hella friends at Burton too. So
yeah. I was hoping to go to St. Ignatius, but I went to Burton. Still loved it.
Yeah.
So what's your passion for working in the nonprofit sector, especially after working for a place like Google?
Yeah, I mean, I never intended to work at Google. I really loved nonprofits and I really wanted to stay and excel there. But it was kind of this time in my life where I was like, okay, I need to start saving money because I wasn't really making anything. And I was like, I guess I need to start adulting now. And so I took this contract role at Google and ended up actually really liking it and finding a niche there where I could still pursue my passion for education and helping nonprofits, but now through corporate life. So I was ended up staying there for 7 years because opportunities kept coming up that was really exciting, and they still let me do my passion on the side of dance and nonprofit work. So it just kind of worked out that I ended up staying. But once I heard about Soma Pilipinas and figured out what it was and heard about it from Desi, who is the other co-founder of Undiscovered, I was so inspired by that. And that was the catalyst that was okay, it's time to quit now and start my own business and do my own thing. I've learned enough, and now it's time for me to grow. So then I got to come back to nonprofit life, but now as an event planner.
That's amazing. And that's how, and that's also how we started Make It Mariko, right? I'd love to hear a little bit about your thought process for Undiscovered. How did you two start that? It's such a huge event, and it seems like you kind of just had everything all together. When I went to it, I was like, how the hell, heck did two people put this together?
Well, it definitely wasn't two people. It was two people that had the original idea. And when I heard about Soma Pilipinas from Desi, I approached him about throwing a launch party. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, hey, I'm so proud of this. And I just heard about it. And I want more Filipinos to know that Soma Pilipinas exists so they can have the same pride. Let's throw a big party and officially launch it to the world so people can find out. And so that idea of the launch party ended up turning into a monthly night market because Desi is just such a visionary and so good at fundraising that he was able to get funding from the city to make it monthly. And so we have this idea, but it's really this amazing giant team, all made up of POC small business owners in the Bay Area that came together to really make it happen. And so I really have like loved growing this team, and it's helped us all catapult our small businesses as well to put in so much like love into making this event happen. So it's really a whole village that's producing it.
It's amazing. I love it. So let's talk a little bit about what we've been doing, or what you've been doing on Folsom Street every Saturday,
Sunday,
Sunday,
Sunday.
Sunday. I should know this.
We've already been partnering with Sunday Streets, and doing the like once a year Soma Sunday Streets activation, where we bring a tiny bit of our undiscovered event and park it on Folsom in front of VMD, Victoria Manalo Draves Park, which is one of our like cultural institutions of Soma Pilipinas. And so I've loved partnering with Sunday Streets. And it was such a great opportunity that they reached out to us to help out with more of their street closures this year. And all, of course, as a small business in events that was struggling, like I lost like I think 87% of my business in March, and that was really scary. So when Katie approached us and said like, actually, we need help with these street closures, I was like, oh my gosh, this is a blessing, you know. But it's definitely been a challenge, trying to navigate how to do an in-person kind of activation safely during COVID has been very hard. But we knew it was important to do because of the fact that, you know, SFMTA launched this whole slow streets program, right? Where they would close down streets in different areas. But places like Soma and Excelsior, which is, I live in Excelsior, had zero slow streets programs.
Mhm.
And these are, you know, really working class neighborhoods where folks need access to open space because there are like very little parks. Like Soma has only one park and Excelsior has maybe one, maybe two. And so that's why we felt really compelled to work on these street closures to try to like get open streets like for these communities.
I love that. I love that. So you go on Folsom between 6th and 8th Street on Sunday, and what you'll see is like a little piece of what Undiscovered is. So
Yeah.
we have like a couple of restaurants that are out on the street, and then a couple of, did we incorporate live music performances yet, or any sort of activity?
Not yet, but we are basically like, we tried to do a little piece of Undiscovered, which is helping support our food and retail vendors. So we've got them coming out. And then this partnership was really unique because we were really focused on helping the businesses on the block. So we
Right.
partnered with so many of the Folsom Street businesses to really highlight them, like Cat Club, Basil Thai, Anton's, Decant, like trying to create parklets for them on the street. We have some art activities happening, like chalk art on the ground, like hopscotch coming through. And we will hopefully be incorporating some music soon. But really, and it's also really about this farmers market partnership. So Soma doesn't have a farmers market. We partnered with West Coast Farmers Association and brought in some farmers and even some Asian farmers to go along with our theme. And so yeah, that's a new thing, the farmers market, vegetables, affordable stuff happening on Folsom Street too.
Yeah, it's really important in that community, I think, especially with like the lack of greenery. It's good to have some sort of activities happening in the street. So thank you so much for making that happen alongside Livable City. So tell me about Filipino American Heritage History Month and what you were doing to celebrate.
Yeah. Filipino American History Month, it's super important that we do remember it's about history and not heritage. Heritage is important, of course, like our culture and how we connect to it. But this month is really about recognizing what Filipino Americans have actually contributed to American history. We've been here a long time and have done a lot of work and contributing to communities. So that's what this month is about, is recognizing that. And the theme for FAM 2020 is actually history of Filipino American activism. And so this month, a lot of orgs are really focusing on like, what have Filipino Americans contributed towards activism? How have we showcased our activism in American history? And especially here in San Francisco, it's a huge piece of our cultural history is like the I Hotel and, you know, what used to be Manila Town up in, you know, Fidei area. That was like a thriving community for so long. And those people got displaced. They got removed because of, development. And that's when they got moved to Soma. Before, it was this like hot development area. And so the whole focus of Soma Pilipinas is like, look, our community was already displaced in San Francisco, and we made a new home in Soma, and we will not be displaced again. So this is our home, and we're here to stay, and we're here to fight for our space. And that's what's so powerful to me about Soma Pilipinas.
Amazing, amazing. And like, just tell us how we could support Make It Mariko. I mean, there's tons of businesses out there that are taking advantage of this shared spaces program, and they're looking for contractors. They're looking for that creative eye. They don't have it.
Yeah.
It's great to know that there's people out there like you that could help them.
And Make It Mariko, we're doing okay. As an events company, I'm actually in a place where I'm really thankful, and I feel so grateful that we still have work and that we're still in business. So we're doing okay, but I would encourage everyone to really go out there and support the small businesses, and coming out to our event on Sunday, buying groceries there, buying from these small businesses. That's what's really helping. And I know right now it's been so hard, and COVID is like a very serious thing, and we need to be safe, and safety was our number one priority in doing this event. But there's ways for us to gather safely in community. And I think like coming out on Sunday, enjoying the big open street, still staying social distance, like wearing masks, hand sanitizer, these are all the ways that we can be safe, and we can still be in community with each other. So I would just encourage folks to really think about that, and find a way to come out and do it in a way that feels good to you, but just trusting that like we're not doing some crazy concert out there. We're just opening the streets so people can be together safely. And I know a lot of people need that right now.
Absolutely. You are an amazing individual. Thank you so much for bringing the community together, for coming up with Make It Mariko, for hiring women of color. We need more of
Yes.
that. I love how this is an all women ran organization. It's very empowering. It's powerful. And for those of you who want to get a taste of what this open streets, mini Sunday streets event is like, come out on Sunday from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Folsom Street between 6th Street and 8th Street. And you will get a little taste of Undiscovered. And you can say hi to Gina. You'll be there, right?
Yes, our team will be there.
All right, wonderful. Well, Gina, thank you so much for joining us.
Uh,
We're all hanging in there.
I know.
I admire the work that you're doing, and I know you're just gonna keep pushing for it. We're all in this together. So
We're all doing our best. We're
yeah,
doing our best right now, and we're
definitely.
doing what we can. So
Yes, ma'am. All right. Well, you have a wonderful day, and I will see you this weekend at Sunday
thank
Street.
you. Thanks so
All right.
much.
Take care, my dear.